Yes, y'all, yes. I'm stealing away having lunch with Mom. And guess what I walked upon? Looks like it's either lasagna or Beef-a-Roni. Oh, Tony is gonna miss this meal. Oh my, oh my, oh my, oh my. What's up, everybody? Where am I at? In the middle of the week. I'm at Mama's house. I'm working remote, and I just came over here to have quick lunch with her. Or it's actually by myself. Y'all, she's doing her version of Beef-a-Roni with cheese. Please, don't make me sneeze. Child, please. And she also did bread sticks, but I didn't want no bread. And I know, pray for me, y'all, root beer. I'm quickly breaking away from work. You know how you had them days where you be like, I need to get out of the office before I blow my stack. I would sit outside, but I don't want to fight with no, cause see them bees and stuff still low key trying to be out.
Wasp on this wasp.
Yeah, so I just, you know, I gotta be able.
Birds, I figure I have to come through the little hole.
Oh yeah. You probably can get some of them little screen perfectly cut to fit in between.
Well, I was thinking if I could find like
that's probably still hot. Just come out the oven, y'all. What? Those bread sticks are from Olive Garden. When did you go to Olive Garden?
Probably they sell them at the bakery down there.
Oh.
They make the bread olive sticks and bread sticks for Olive Garden. And when they have too many, they put them in the bakery.
Oh.
Just so happened I was looking at that day. If I had more space, I'd have bought 3 or 4 bags. I thought about one bag.
Oh, that's good.
I sure hated nobody to eat that cake. Oh.
Let me do a quick shout out to a lady named Sheena Porter.
We got that scrumptious.
She sent a cake here to my mother's address. That was weird because I had my P.O. box in my description box. But nonetheless, I did get your cake. Again, it was over here at my mother's house. It was mailed here. And thank you so much for the cake. But it was smushed real bad. So I'm not going to be able to eat it because it got exposed to the air. But again, I don't know who. I'm assuming it's one of my viewers here. So thank you so much, Sheena, for the thoughtfulness of it. But unfortunately, we're not going to be able to partake in it because it got smushed. And so anyway, but thank you for your thoughtfulness, I guess.
Thank you, Sheena.
Oh, that was my mom. That's Mom. My Howell, y'all.
Yeah, because y'all don't like to waste no food now.
We don't like to waste food.
Woo.
But thank you so much, though. Yeah, I've been putting it in. She was hard for the money. So hard for it, honey. She works hard for the money, so you better treat her right. All right. Yeah, yeah, I've been putting the hour there. Oh, that's good, y'all. Last night when I got in, it was late. So I grabbed me something to eat. And I was watching this movie called My Sister's Keeper. And Cameron Diaz, She was in the movie, and then there was a I forgot the man's name. He was one of the cast members of the Lost Boys. Remember that show back, or that movie that was real popular back in then, what was it, the 80s? Anyway, they were parents, and they had a daughter who had a rare case of leukemia. Anyway, to not get a movie away, it was a really good movie.
Yeah, Tonya's sister.
It was a really good movie, but I got to thinking about it's amazing, and it's true in life. People can hold on and be so focused on their agenda, even though it seemingly is the right thing to do and the motherly thing to do and blah, blah, blah. But, you know, without giving the movie away, you can get so caught up in your own focus and your own, but you don't realize the collateral damage that you may be causing to people around you, or that are affected by the decisions that you make. And you could be, you so focused on fixing one area, but you destroy many other areas. And I thought, wow. But you know, and then I guess too, as mothers, we sometimes think, okay, did we do everything we could? And in this movie, it's about, you know, the Cameron Diaz, the mother, trying to do everything she needed to do to save her daughter that fate of dying. Because, I mean, she just had one of those diseases that, you know, they did everything, blah, blah, blah. And like I said, I don't want to give the movie away, but sometimes as mothers, we'll hold on to that thing of, man, did I say that last sentence to him or her? Or did I call the last doctor? Or did I search out the last tree limb in that tree?
That's guilt and blame.
And if, as parents, I think sometimes if we need to try, it's hard to let go, because in this case, we're talking about a child living, and trying to, you know, seek out every avenue to help get that child cured. And as parents, as mothers, oh yeah, we're going to do all that. But then at some point, where do you say to yourself, and you don't ever want to have to speak it or say it, when do you let go?
You have to find, you have to search.
Isn't that something?
Inside. And with a child or anybody that's close, when it comes to death and dying and sickness, it's got, you know, along the way, I think too, you have to come to peace with it, because if you wait till the end to try to do it, it's even harder, because then you're dealing with the loss and the tearing away. But along the way, if you're caring for that person, or if you're where you need to be with that person, that helps. Don't take away that sting, but it helps to put it in perspective, so you don't hold on. You 10 years from now, you still going through and asking the same question. That's no faith at all. So you have to do it along the way, I think. When I was getting my car done yesterday, this lady, we just struck up this conversation like we had known each other forever, because we sat there for an hour. And she said something similar to that. It wasn't about a death, but we were talking about children. And she has a 25-year-old daughter, and she was saying, I have done too much for her. And I said, well, that strikes a chord with most parents. Because what happens is, when your grown children are grown and they're not where they're supposed to be, and you still doing stuff, it makes you feel that way. And that's what I told her. I said, you know, so you in and of yourself have got to get to a point where you have to start drawing some lines, some parameters. It's hard, Lord Jesus knows it's hard. But what here's the good part about that. Here's the good part about that. When you finally muster up enough strength to say no, to draw that line, and look them in the eye and don't flinch, and they get it, guess what? They move right on.
They move right on.
And you sit there and think, you know, God Almighty, I've been doing this stuff for 900 years. I could have stopped 700 years ago. Because let me tell you one thing about life. The first law of nature is self-preservation. And a person will preserve themselves to the point of no return whether it's with you, me, or anybody else. So I told her, I said, so it's still hard. I said, it's going to be hard for you to do because I've been there, done that. I've even reverted back at times. But the point is that I know that, I said, your daughter's going to be fine, honey. Trust me, she's going to be fine. Mm-hmm. But it's easier for her to fall back on you if you continue to do the stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I know that. I mean, come on now. I'm almost 70 years old. I know that. And I still revert back. So it doesn't matter what the situation is. When you're dealing with loved ones and children, and you're the primary caregiver or the primary provider for that individual, as much as you allow them to rely on you, you have to put that thing in perspective and say, I've done any and everything that I could. So along the way now, I got to start drawing some lines about, because what I told her, and we laughed about it, I said, you know, one thing I've come to know, I love myself. Mm-hmm. I said, learn how to love yourself, because that self-love will help you do that too, because that means you're going to take care of yourself, you're going to look out for yourself, and you're not going to let people, and like yesterday, one of those days, I got into some situations that I really shouldn't have, but at least I was able to draw from that and say, okay, Peggy, get it back on track. Now, you know, you done talked to you enough about getting yourself in these situations where you don't want to be. That's life. Mm-hmm. But we can't live there. We can't dwell there. So,
can't nest there.
That was my soapbox. That lady and I talked yesterday, I know, for an hour and a half. Mm-hmm. And she was just talking about how, you know, that one particular child at 25 said, well, you know, it happens that way sometimes.
But yeah, I really enjoyed that movie. I mean, I watched it all the way through. But like I said, this was more medical, but outside of the medical aspect, of course. But I'm just saying, in general, as mothers, I'm not necessarily talking about what was going on in the movie medical wise, because of course you always want to do everything you can. Oh, yeah. But as I was watching, I said, isn't that something? We do seem like in the movie, we're talking about death and life, and this is a sick child, and how Cameron Diaz as a mother did any and everything, even to the detriment of one of her children having to succumb, going through whatever in order to help this sick child. So, but I think about, look at what we do as mothers. We jump through on stuff that ain't about nothing. But we as mothers, or just period, and I thought, now look at the lengths that she's going to save one of her children. And I said,
and the other child falling off the top of the mountain.
And then I think, look at all the times we've gone over and beyond, done jacked up our mess to help them over their foolish decision and foolishness. And same way with you, when I was making foolish decisions, the stuff that you had to do to help me, you and Dad had to help me. But at the same time, I think about, look at just the contrast, I guess I'm thinking about. But you're right. A lot of times we done stressed out, and we could have said no 20 years ago and been freed up, because like you said, once you say no, they're going about their business and they find another way to make it happen.
Because I'm going to tell you,
when
people are growing up and trying to get to where they need to be, I told that lady yesterday, I said, they don't know any better. They don't see, because I firmly believe when you know better and understand, you do better. But along the way, children, young adults, whomever, or people who just foolish, I think that they just don't know better. And when they know better, because I've had certain folks come back to me and say to me the same thing that somebody's doing to them that you did to me. So that lets me know you didn't know. And I said, I used to remember that little card I had that said, live long enough to be a burden to your children. Or live long enough to see your children go through the stuff that you go through. Well, that's just life, and you know, I'm better for it that I understand. I can laugh at it, and when it comes back, and like with y'all, when I hear y'all come back and say to your children the same identical things, I thought, I can hear you, Peggy, Howell. I can hear you, Peggy. Because the same thing I would tell my child. Lord have mercy, my mom was telling me the same thing, and I'm like, oh my God. It comes full circle. Yeah, but it's so funny, especially with Tony, boy. He just going. I need to get ready. That Tony, honey, I was laughing at Tony so hard the other day. I said, "Ooh, does that sound familiar?" And he looked at me just as blank. I'm telling you, when you're going through life and you're doing stuff, really you don't. It doesn't. You do it, but it doesn't register how it's affecting other people. You're just doing.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you get older and it comes back on you, like I said, karma is a booger bear when she wants
a booger bear.
Yes, sir. But that's all. It's all good. It's all part of life. We still gotta love each other.
Mm-hmm.
Keep it moving, honey. Cause God knows.
Y'all, this is a quick lunch at Mama's house.
I have to get out of here too. I got a doctor appointment.
But anyway, y'all, thanks for stopping on the Flavor Train for lunch edition, and it ain't at the office, honey. It's at Mama's house. But anyway, hope y'all enjoyed our little chit chat. And again, if I don't get on here again, y'all already know what we're gonna do Sunday. What you waiting on? What you think's gonna happen? Anyway,
I gotta think something real different. Oh, Sunday we might do set. Karan's birthday is whenever. But anyway, we'll probably do some steaks for Sunday. Girl, Bobby Howell.
Alright, y'all. Thanks for stopping on the Flavor Train because what? Flavor is where it's at. Bye, y'all.